This is TWiT.
And now it is time. I am pleased to say that, we talked a little bit about Epic Games and Apple last week. Then we had the breaking news thing where Apple pulled Epic Games. What is it called now? I can't even think of the name. Fortnite from the App Store. And that kind of happened live. And so we thought we'd check back in with what's going on. And who better to talk about that than the managing editor of iMore, Lory Gil. Hello, Lory.
Hello, Lory.
Hi, Mikah. How's it going?
Oh, it's going well. It's going well. So happy to have you on today. So, there's been a lot that has happened since the day that Epic and Apple kind of had their blowout. But I think it would be good to kind of give a basic overview of this situation. So kind of what led up to where we are now. If you could kind of tell our listeners, in case they missed last week's episode or they haven't been caught up, someone's coming in new to this whole Epic Games versus Apple versus Google and all these other people. What's going on?
So exactly a week ago, it was last Thursday, Epic launched a new campaign in their Fortnite, their most popular game, allowing people to purchase V-Bucks at a discounted price, 20% off. And the option to buy these bucks only came through a direct purchase, which goes against Apple's App Store guidelines. Apple's guidelines require that if you are going to offer in-app purchases or subscriptions, that they need to happen within the app, not by leaving the app and going to a different site or payment option. So Fortnite did this with intention because, of course, Apple pulled the Fortnite app from the App Store within, I would say, 2 or 3 hours after Fortnite launched this campaign. So that was a given. We all knew that was going to happen. But what happened next is what was kind of an incredible whirlwind of a day, honestly. We went from, Apple pulls Fortnite to Fortnite announces that it's going to show a movie inside of its battle or party royale, which is like sort of an in-game social gathering space. And they, teased it, and it was clearly a parody of Apple's 1984 Macintosh commercial. And even the teaser of it made us all very aware that, okay, Apple is actually, or for Epic Games they're on a path. They knew this was coming and they're ready for this. So they did that. And then within 10 minutes of the announcement, this was prior to the actual launch of the mini movie, they also announced that they were filing a lawsuit against Apple. Google also, within this same time frame, sometime around the same time that Apple pulled it from the App Store, Google did the same thing for the same reasons. They have their own in-app policy purchase. So, there's Apple and Google are both. So basically right now, if you're brand new to Fortnite, you've never played it before, you've never downloaded it on your device before, you don't get to play Fortnite on a phone at all because it's not available in the Google Play Store you can sideload it on Google, but from the Google Play Store, you can't download it from there or from the iOS App Store. So then they announced that they were suing Apple for a lot of things, but it basically comes down to what they are claiming to be an antitrust situation. Apple monopolizing the developer community, forcing them to require payments through an in-app purchase, which Apple gets a cut of, not allowing them to have payments be made outside of the App Store, not allowing customers to download apps or games outside of the App Store. So this is their general lawsuit against Apple. Then they actually released the actual video. So we got to see the full thing. And yes, of course, it was an absolute play on sort of treating Apple as the totalitarian government system that they once considered themselves to be rebelling against. So it was kind of a funny little play for them. So this was clearly all planned, probably a year in the making,
Right.
at least a few months in the making. And that all happened on one day. And then let's see if I can remember what goes next. Spotify released a statement. They supported this. Epic Games also on their blog announced that they were trying to create a group of app developers, a coalition, if you will, that agree with this. So Epic Games is kind of treating themselves as like, we are, the leaders of this rebel group of ragtag developers who just want our freedom from the tyranny of the App Store. That's kind of their rhetoric about it. And then Apple said that it was going. So this is the most recent information, which just came up 2 days ago, I believe, on the 18th. That Apple, they told Epic Games that they are pulling their developer certification. So they are actually, in essence, banning not the game itself, but the company from Apple, from iOS. So that is huge, because that means that all games that are made with the Unreal Engine, that is part of Epic Games company, they don't get to continue to update their games with new versions of the Unreal Engine, because Epic Games cannot get those signed for iOS. So that really does put like a huge burden on the entire gaming industry that is supported by Epic Games or by the Unreal Engine. So that was huge. So because of that, then Epic Games filed a second lawsuit requesting a restraining order. It's a funny wording, but it actually is a restraining order to stop Apple from going through with this removal of Epic Games' certification as an Apple developer, because that goes into effect on the 28th of August. So that's not a lot of time for Epic Games to do what they need to do, no matter what. That's a very short period of time to make make things happen between Apple and Epic, because Epic doesn't want to step down from this, and Apple is really forcing their hand by saying you step down or you lose everything. So that's about where we're at now. There's been little bits of statements and things like that here and there that have come out, but that's pretty much where we're sitting right now. Is as of the 28th of August, Epic Games will lose its developer certification unless they fix what they did wrong with the Fortnite game and resubmit it to the App Store.
So yeah, we've got a multi-pronged kind of issue here. I did a quick Google search, Unreal Engine games on iOS, and Google has a handy little sort of carousel at the top that shows some of the games that are available. There's also a Wikipedia article that shows the list of Unreal Engine games that are available on different platforms. And there are quite a few, including Infinity Blade, which is a game that, correct me if I'm wrong, Lory, has been demoed on stage at different Apple developer conferences or Apple announcements in the past to kind of show off the processors in certain iOS devices. So it's a little strange to see, and maybe concerning to see that, all of these games could potentially be banned from the App Store due to this issue. One of the things
let me just real quick clarify on that. These games will not be banned. It just means that the Unreal Engine that they use to develop and update their games, they will no longer be able to get the updates that Unreal Engine gets. So Epic Games will continue to develop and improve the Unreal Engine. Those improvements will not be able to be passed on to these game developers. They'll be sort of stagnant in whatever version is they're stuck with before the pull. So that you can still play the games. The game companies that use Unreal Engine, they'll be able to continue to develop their own games, but they won't be able to use the Unreal Engine, the new developments of the Unreal Engine as they come out. So they basically would have to switch to a different game development source, which is a royal pain for any developer to have to do something like that.
Or maybe it's a royale pain. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Good one. I like that.
Thank you. So let me ask you this then. I saw I think it was, going around on Twitter. It may have been somewhere else, but the conversation surrounded Epic Games complaining about the 30% cut from iOS, and then also the percentage that Google takes as well. But that casts aside, or ignores rather, the percentage cut that people like Microsoft take if they sell stuff on the Xbox, or that the PlayStation takes if it's sold on the PlayStation device. Do we know any information about that? Like, is that the case, that any app store that Epic chooses to be a part of, regardless of whether it's one of these smartphone platforms or it's a console gaming platform, it sounds like there's still, some amount of money that the company that owns the platform or the console makes whenever a sale is made?
Yeah, so I believe that Epic Games is actually laying claim that they do not have to pay as much of a fee by going to the other. You know what? Actually, you know what it is? Sorry, I'm trying to remember all of the things that have been said up to now. So Tim Sweeney is actually he actually said that you can make purchases for items for your Fortnite game outside of the Microsoft or PlayStation stores. So the option to in-app purchase or out-app purchase is there. So what they want in this case with Fortnite is they want people to be able to go outside of the App Store to make their purchase. And frankly, I think that this is a reasonable request. I think most people, the average person, they're going to play a game and they're going to just use an in-app purchase, right? They're not going to want to jump through hoops and exit out of the game to go make a purchase somewhere else. They want to stay within the App Store. I think there's danger involved, and I think this is where things could go wrong, is that the price shouldn't be different. So for Fortnite, not only did they directed people outside of the App Store, outside of the game for their purchases, they gave a discount to people who were getting that package outside. So if they said you can get it for $7.99 inside this app using Apple's in-app purchase, or you can get it for $7.99 going outside through our direct payment, I think that's very fair. And I think there are going to be people who want to support these game developers and who will go outside of the in-app purchase program in order to help the companies. But Apple will still make their 30% that they want to hold on to for a lot of people. So I think both people can benefit from this situation. That's an opinion there.
Right. So I guess then my last question for you would be kind of what should we be looking to next? What do we think maybe our next steps? Where are the companies right now? Kind of where are some of the places that this could go as we have these companies both sort of lobbing things back and forth at each other, trying to get this all figured out?
Yeah, so my prediction is that Epic Games is going to give in to Apple's demands. They will pull their direct payment from the app, from their internal app, resubmit it to Apple, and everything will go back to normal, except that Epic Games will then remind everybody that Apple is a tyrannical monopoly who is oppressing developers. And then we're going to see a 5-year fight over Epic's desire to topple Apple's hold. I think that's where we're headed. I think they're going to give in, and we will see Fortnite back in the App Store within the week. But then that lets them look real good and say, see everybody, see what Apple did, see what they're doing to us. And then we're going to see a lot of lawsuits that will follow up with that. And that it'll be, little bits here and there for the next year or two. There'll be a huge win for one side a year or two from now, but then it'll be contested and then it'll go back to court. And then I think it'll take about 5 years for this to finally flush itself out completely and be either on Epic's side or Apple's side in the end.